Hey everyone, welcome back. So I was doing some searches. Again, I was looking at the current unemployment, what's going on with cybersecurity as far as jobs, and I came across something that was so interesting. I thought it was a joke at first, and apparently it's not. And I was like in shock that I actually even saw this. So you know how we go on Reddit, and if you're not part of Reddit, go specifically. I'm part of the cybersecurity forum, and there's a lot of discussion there about people getting laid off and AI taking over cybersecurity. And I was just intrigued a little bit more. I wanted to dive a little deeper. And of course, we have the whole federal government where, cybersecurity jobs have been getting cut ridiculously. So one trend I do notice and on the current market is that now a lot more organizations are reluctant to hire junior entry level positions. They want a little someone who's more seasoned, not to the peak of your career where you're making like over 200 plus. I believe those positions are a lot more rare nowadays, and those will probably fall under like the deputy or a CISO position or director or something along the lines of that, right? Very senior C-level management, unless the organization has a lot of money. But I just want to show you guys right now it's not as glamorous right now. Of course, we have a lot of organizations on the tech side of the house, and this includes all types of tech positions. Now remember, when I say tech, cloud security engineers can fall under IT now. So if they say tech, it could be a very generalized assumption that this would include someone who's managing the cyber or security functions of these areas. Okay, whether it's the cloud or on-prem, whatever it is, a lot of these roles are doing dual roles, meaning you could be a cyber supposedly professional, but you're still part of the IT group. So you'll be bundled up with the whole tech side of things. And these are the layoffs, right? As of March 2025, right? You have a lot of these organizations just constantly letting go. Do you see backfills? There are some, right? I was checking out these sources, these articles to see what the situation is. They don't list out the specific titles or positions that they were letting go, but you can see the layoff numbers are not something that are a small percent. There are fairly large percent on some of these, right? And of course, the list just keeps on going down. So what am I getting at, right? MITRE Tech is definitely another organization, a nonprofit that gets federal funding, and they're losing people. They have already lost people. I actually just recently probably spoke to someone that it used to. Well, I shouldn't say used to. I'm not even sure they're still working there now or not. And right now, I just want to show you guys another article, which was just 2 hours ago from the cybersecurity on Reddit, is that so it begins. Me and other 79 people in my team are being canned and replaced by AI. Turns out that we've been training for the past 2 years. We work for a large US company, about 300K employees. Can you imagine that? Guys, you are working for an organization who implements AI, and for 2 years you're fine-tuning it. You set up the proof of concept, the POC, and you have all the hardware, or you outsource with vendors and you work out all the kinks and all the issues, and to only realize that once you get it streamlined and in production and it's working the way it's supposed to be working, they let go the entire crew or majority of the crew who's managing it and or built it up, which is like it's a shock at this point, right? Because we're basically building out our own destruction with these AIs. So I was a little intrigued, and I was like, okay, is there such a thing as an AI certification? And I'm looking up, and I go and I do a search, and then look at this. What in the world? CompTIA Sec AI Plus certification? Is this a real thing? So I probably needed to check that CompTIA and see if AI is even a certification that they're acquiring. I won't be surprised, right, if new certifications such as AI show up in their list of categories. Let's go Security Plus. Now, Security X is one of the later ones, but I don't see anything that mentions AI here. So I was a little shocked to see what this is, and I did a couple of searches, and then there's a CYSA AI. Like, I didn't even know what this is. But they actually have a list of items that you'll be learning. Explore AI's role in enhanced security measures. Like, is that a real thing? And I'm just in shock right now, like all this AI this, AI that. But right now, it just seems like it's a hard act not to follow because it's lending into that trend. But of course, if your organization is implementing AI, which I'm kind of getting to that point, everyone wants to dabble a little bit into it. Are you setting yourself up to be eliminated, right? That's the downside to all this. If you're such a perfectionist, you built this all out, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, we don't need you for this anymore. Cybersecurity roles traditionally has been probably just slowly but surely, as its peak was maybe a year or two ago. And I know it's challenging for a lot of people who got into this field thinking like, wow, it's booming and it's the best thing right now. It's the hottest thing, and people are just hiring left and right. When you went to school for it, you went to your, undergrad to the graduate degree, and you started going this route because you thought there was going to be a job that had six figures, or at least around there, and able to remote work 5 days a week, right? That was like the best thing in the world, and all those options were there. A lot of companies were hiring just for that, and now you're starting to learn and see, and that's not the case. What I have been noticing in New York City specifically, because of the mandate from a lot of these organizations, from federal all the way down to private organizations, they're calling back, right? We know for a fact that JP Morgan Chase has started that trend. Amazon started that trend. Tesla started that trend. And every other organization, the larger ones, were calling back, remote office is no more, remote work is no longer entertained. Everyone has to come back to the office. We want the city to be thriving. I notice and have been noticing a lot of positions regarding cybersecurity in New York City are hybrid. For the most part, some of them are hybrid, some of them are just literally full office in office. And what does that do, right? So now, because a lot of these organizations are still in New York City and they don't want to see the failure of real estate, because there's a lot of key players here, right? It gets all political. Companies are just snatching up real estate as well, and they want the business in the area, the city, to thrive again. They want, business to people to come in, buy food, travel, pay all these different expenses. And right now, a lot of jobs are like focused strictly on residents of New York City. Now, I just picked New York City because I'm familiar with it. But of course, other states may not be as popular with, a lot of options as far as companies that have high tech companies working out there. Certain ones do. I'm not going to say that all of them don't, but let's just say Austin, Texas, for example, do have a lot of facilities and corporations and companies out there. And yeah, they'll maintain, but there are a lot of other states that don't have that. Now you don't even have the flexibility to work remotely. So a lot of people migrating back, and this is in the news. I'm not making any of this up. Migrating back to the more bigger cities where there are more job options, right? But then again, you're challenging that because now everyone, I won't say everyone, but a lot of people are moving back into these cities, and also now you have a lot of undetermined what kind of role you're going to fill, because cybersecurity, and I want to leave this off here, cybersecurity roles such as like SOC analyst are not as prestigious as it once was. So why I say that is because now AI is trying to reduce those headcounts because they can automate and they know what to look for now. Now imagine an organization that has a 24/7 SOC. You need at least 2 people on site all day, every day to maintain this, right? But what a lot of organizations doing is trying to adapt the AI ability so you don't actually have to hire someone to be sitting there all day and paying that high salary anymore. And even if they chose to do it, they could probably get someone for a lot cheaper who's willing to, because of the market being so saturated with so many people unemployed. I'm going to leave it here, and I will be doing a follow-up on all of this to explain and give you guys reasoning on how potentially we can combat all this, or what solutions we have, right? I don't want to give you all the bad news and then don't provide any solution, but stay tuned. Wait for that video. I will definitely do a follow-up to this because I am keeping tight eyes on this and tracking all what's going on, and then giving you my opinion on what the situation looks like. I potentially can be impacted just like anyone else. So I'm very, cautious of what positions you would do and what roles you would take and what further certifications or studies you should take going forward, because some of the stuff that we're looking at right now may be obsolete and it'll just be worth nothing going forward. All right. I want to thank you guys for being here. Please hit that like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again really soon. Take care.